OMG, so I watched this film Spellbound recently, and it was garbage. I don't want to dwell on talking about this movie for too long because by contrary of popular belief, this is a film that is not made for me. It is made for little kids. So forgive me if I seem very unreasonable to knock a peg on today's generation being exposed to this mess, as the current well-oiled machine of the animation industry continues to be called a kids genre by people who don't like animation. If it were up to me, I would have easily have named this one of the worst films I have seen and it would still get attention. But the reason I sought after this film was because of the marketing. The trailer was so bad. The premise basically shouts it's a fairy tale but with contemporary modern themes. Another reason why I am fascinated by this film is that this is John Lasseter's second animated film under new studio Skydance Animation. I've already seen Skydance's last attempt at making an animated film, which was Luck, and it was probably the worst film I have ever seen. Not for its oddly cheap-looking animation and character designs, but narratively speaking it is the most bare-bones story ever told, with a half-baked message about finding true luck and never giving up. So I was obviously prepared to see if Spellbound replicates the same formula, and in some way it has. Only much worse. The story of Spellbound takes place in the magical world of insert generic magical setting template . The main character is a princess named Eliane, and she lives in her kingdom very proudly with her parents. Until one day, her parents transformed into monsters. With the king and queen transformed, they hide their appearances from the public until they find the antidote to turn them back. But the only way to do that is for Eliane to travel all across insert generic magical setting template to find the light and help restore the darkness from within the hearts of her parents. And maybe one day show up in a Kingdom Hearts game with the kind of the premise they are dishing out here. The story was boring and dull. It's essentially Spirited Away but with a more Disney princess musical touch, and with the archetypal princess character who sings about what she's currently feeling, constantly, has a cute funny pet sidekick, and instead of having dead parents they are monster parents as a sort of sick ironic twist. Why are her parents monsters? Spoiler alert, if you care, it's because they argued so much that a black swirling tornado transformed them into monsters. They don't have any recollection as to who they are, their memories or intelligence. They have simply become savage beasts, and the kingdom's guards have been safeguarding them from the public and army until they can cure them. If they couldn't cure them in time, Eliane would be the next queen and the monsters banished to, I don't know, banished from space and time. We're on this journey with this princess who is on a quest to find the lake of light and turn her parents back to normal because she wants them to act as loving parents forever, and by the time this culminates into the revelation that they were arguing and the princess becoming heartbroken that they don't want to turn back into human because they want to simply divorce to make their lives easier, Eliane turns into a whiny, angsty brat, and her black heart almost turns her into a monster. In case you haven't figured it out. Yeah, the story sucks. The moral of the message is parents argue and settle for divorces, and it beats you over the head with it constantly. You'll notice in the dialogue that Eliane keeps talking about how she wants to love her parents the way they are again, and the subtle signs continue to rear their ugly heads. And when it comes full circle in the end, the plot nosedives into a third act all is lost moment that manages to be worse than I could imagine. The character writing for the main character should have been better conveyed instead of opting for the Disney formula of generic character condemnation. Because by and large, we're supposed to sympathize with this character, understand what's going through her head and how she's going to solve everything. The movie fails to convey this message by leaving it in a vague position that screams the parents got a divorce and the child will be happy again. If this done in a more grounded position as say Marriage Story, then it wouldn't have lent itself to this self-indulgent angst song about not getting what you want, effectively turning Eliane into a villain. It's an unappealing message and it makes me hate this character. I have read probably about 3 reviews on YouTube for this movie. One is by Matt, who basically says the exact same thing that I was thinking, and that is that the message felt too black and white and that arguments and parental disagreements are part of everyday life. The other review doesn't even talk about the movie because he never watched and instead indulges that kids shouldn't really be exposed to divorces, implying that kids should just stay safe and happy inside their bubble, which is impossible to do. The other talked about how the movie squanders its potential world building because, as much as I hate to admit it, the world building certainly felt more like it had potential than Skyden's last movie Luck. And it all culminates with a message that just screams could have done better. This is another case that John Lasseter seems to be chasing that fame and fortune he once had when he ran at Disney and Pixar. If Luck was his attempt at making a Pixar film, Spellbound was his attempt to make a traditional Disney princess movie. The only difference is, Disney Animation is a committee of animators and story artists that come together to bring their ideas to the table. Say what you will, there is a reason why their movies are successful. They lean towards a big market of audiences, young and old. The music, the animation, the stories, the characters, they were written and refined to fit a timeless demographic. I keep coming back to movies like Beauty and the Beast, The Lion King and Aladdin, simply because those are great and fun films. What Lasseter is attempting is to bring that Disney nostalgia to a new generation of animation fans. So what's wrong with it? Well, like I said, the writing is one of the worst elements of this movie. If the story didn't make you want to pull your hair out, the jokes and zingers will. This movie is full of one-liners and puns that make me want to throw up. As evidenced by this one line where the Oracle guy gives his frog cab literally 5 stars. Get it? It's an Uber joke. Oh, I forgot, you're a stupid child and that shit will just fly over your head. Despite the fact that the setting of the movie being in a contemporary fairytale kingdom, it really doesn't work. And maybe I'm just pessimistic over kids' movies continuing the trend of not respecting its adults, but who in the right mind is going to even get that reference? Many of the jokes suck. The father monster, voiced by Javier Bardem, says that he needs to go and release some liquid. Get it? He has to pee. Kids love pee jokes. They go inside this tunnel that channels any tone of your voice into floaty bubbles if you're positive or laser daggers if you're negative. There was a chance at world building in that moment, but it is wasted away with another joke about the monsters calling their daughter Cake Girl. Overall, I've got nothing else to say about Spellbound. It's not a good movie, in fact it's irritating to say the least. The characters suck. The story is not written well and would have told this story better with a different direction in mind. The animation honestly looks cheap. And the music is good, but the lyrics are forgettable as it pretty much emulates Alan Menken's recent previous efforts with Disney, but at least it's better than Disenchanted and adult animation film Denmark, Jensen and Journey of Saturn. I also just want to go on a limb and say it, but just make a parody of a Disney film. You don't have to copy their style exactly. This isn't so much as talent being wasted as it is talent being insincere with their product. Just go crazy with some ideas. Make an R-rated parody of a Disney princess movie, I welcome it. If you want to give Disney the middle finger it so rightfully deserves, go all out with it. Stop being complacent about the past and actually create an IP that doesn't invoke the same tropes and story beats previous films have done. The potential is out there, you just need to find the right artist who can pitch it. Anyways, yeah. 2 out of 10. This movie sucks. Let us know that if, comment below to like or dislike, subscribe, hit button notification. Thanks for watching, see you later, bye.